Hey, Nikkei Canadajin here. So, you want to get a credit card in Japan, no problem, right? Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple. For myself personally, I've tried over 4 times to apply for credit cards in Japan and got rejected every single time. Now, eventually I did manage to get a credit card, which is why I want to share these 5 crucial tips with you so you don't have to go through the pain and suffering that I went through. So make sure you smash that like button for the sushi gods of YouTube if you want to know how you can get your very first Japanese credit card. Alright, so tip number 1, apply in person. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why should I apply in person? After all, doing it online is easier, faster, and I don't have to get out of bed. And while I do understand that feeling, the fact is that if you apply for a credit card in Japan, in person, the staff will personally help you fill it out, which means they'll make sure you actually do it correctly and everything will be in order. So basically, they act as a free advisor for you because they want you to get a credit card as well. So if you don't want your application turned down right away faster than you can say konnichi, then make sure you go in person. Alright, so tip number 2. Apply for a credit card where you shop at. And for myself, my very first credit card was with Docomo. Because I used their phone service for over a year, that means, and I paid on time every single time, it shows Docomo that I'm responsible, I'm reliable, and I'm not gonna skip out on any monthly payments. So it was a lot easier for me to get my first credit card using some kind of store or establishment that I've already have been using. And personally, I'm really super happy that I went with Docomo, because for Docomo, even though yes, they are a cell phone company, but they do so many other things like credit cards as well, which means that they actually have a translator if you don't speak Japanese on hand. So if you have any questions about the credit card or anything in general regarding their financial services, then really take advantage of calling up the Docomo support English line. Then by using a translator, you can have all your questions answered, and the great thing is it's entirely free. Alright, so tip number 3. Use a Japanese ID. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if you're going to apply for a credit card, then you need some form of ID to verify who you say you are. And in a lot of cases, people will use their residence card if you're a foreigner. The downside of this, though, is if your residence card is a year or shorter, you're most likely not going to be accepted for a credit card because the credit card company can actually see how long your visa is. So instead, I recommend using a Japanese ID, for example, like a driver's license. Because for a Japanese driver's license, it doesn't specify the amount of time left you have on your visa, and it also shows that, hey, you know what? You actually have a government licensed driver's license, which in the eyes of different companies, different Japanese companies, that is definitely a good thing because it makes you seem even more trustworthy. Alright, and tip number 4. Don't over apply. So if you get turned down by the first credit card company that you applied for, don't look to go to another credit card company right away. And this is because every single time you apply for a credit card company, and if they turn you down, the other credit card company that you're applying for can actually see your credit application history, and it'll show on that history that your first application was denied. So instead, I recommend waiting between 4 to 6 months before you apply for your second credit card application if you got denied on your first credit card application. And again, the reason for this is because the credit card history record for this is less likely to be in the system if you've waited for that period of time. Alright, so tip number 5. Be basic. That's right, I'm telling you, just be basic. Now, what do I mean by this? That's a great question. What I mean by this is when you're going to apply for a credit card, you can get so many different benefits and different things on your credit card. For example, ETC, you can get cash back, you can try to apply for a limit of like 1 million yen right off the bat if you really wanted to. But I don't recommend doing any of this. This is because if you try aiming for the stars, aiming for all those benefits, all those extra features right off the bat, then you might not get accepted. What I recommend instead is first just applying for a basic no thrills credit card with the minimum spend limit. This way you have a better chance of being accepted right from the start. And later on, you can always ask for an upgrade to get those added features onto your card. But the most important thing is to first get that card in the first place. Now, these are the tips that work for me, and I hope that they work for you as well. Now, although I haven't personally tried these specific credit cards, apparently trying to apply for either an Amazon or a Rakuten credit card is supposed to be a lot easier to be accepted. So let me know in the comments section down below your experiences with Japanese credit card companies. And once you get that first magical Japanese credit card, what should you purchase as your first purchase with it? Well, why not try Japan Candy Box with premium Japanese sweets delivered right to your door so you don't even have to get out of bed. So click the link in the description box down below, and until next time everyone, stay waku waku.